Hello world, once again is Mr. Guest, another Green Apple production. Here we go. These notes will cover symbiosis. Symbiosis. 99% of the world, I would say, not very familiar with this term. Sounds very complicated, I know. I know it sounds like it's some tough stuff, some real tough science, but it's really not. It's real simple, very simple. In fact, we're surrounded by symbiosis all the time. Now, there are three different forms of symbiosis. We have parasitism or parasitism, we have mutualism, and commensalism. I'm going to say that again. Parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism. We're going to talk about each and every last one and how each form of symbiosis or each symbiotic relationship impacts organisms and even us. Here we go. Although there is fierce competition within ecosystems, sometimes organisms work together for survival. Again, although there is fierce competition within ecosystems, sometimes organisms work together for survival. That's what symbiosis is. A close, long-term relationship between organisms that benefits at least one of the organisms. That's the definition. However, parasitism sometimes can be short-term, okay? The overall concept of symbiosis or symbiotic relationships does revolve around a long-term relationship, but sometimes the relationship between the host and the parasite is short-term. Here we go. Parasitism or parasitism, a type of symbiosis in which one organism is helped but the other is harmed. Very familiar to us as humans. So you have this mosquito full of blood, as you can see, and is getting this blood, which is its food and nutrients, from a human host. Got it? So the mosquito is the parasite, the human is the host. And parasitism, or these type of symbiotic relationships, one organism is benefiting. Of course, that's the mosquito. The human is not benefiting from this at all. All right, he's actually harmed. You might say, a mosquito biting me, not harming me, just hurt a little bit. Well, that's a little small form of harm. However, what if this mosquito has a disease like malaria or West Nile virus? Now the human is really being harmed. His life is being threatened. So, parasitism, a type of symbiosis in which one organism is helped, but the other is harmed. Next, we have mutualism. Now this is beautiful. It's a type of symbiotic relationship or a type of symbiosis in which both organisms benefit. You take this bee and this flower. The flower is going to use the bee for pollination. The bee is using the flower for food and nectar. Therefore, the flower benefits and the bee benefits. The flower gets to reproduce, the bee gets food. That's a mutualistic relationship, or mutualism at its best, a type of symbiosis in which both organisms benefit. Last but not least, we have commensalism, a type of symbiosis that helps helps one organism, but neither helps nor harms the other organism. Again, commensalism is a type of symbiosis, symbiotic relationship, same thing, that helps one organism, but neither helps nor harms the other. You take this shark right here. A lot of times you see fish, smaller fish, swimming along with sharks. They do the same thing with whales as well. The shark is looking for food constantly. It's an apex predator. It's the king of the sea, so to speak. So the shark is looking for a meal. It finds a seal. It finds a walrus. All right, and it attacks it. It kills it. But of course, it's not like sharks have knives and forks and spoons. They don't eat all nice and neat. So, I mean, it's flesh floating around in the water. It's blood everywhere. It's chunks and little pieces of meat. It's skin. Now, these smaller fish can feast as well. So, the shark is not harmed in this at all. However, the smaller fish benefit from this relationship tremendously. They don't have to hunt for food. They don't have to forage. All they have to do is swim right here with the shark. Be careful not to get eaten by the shark, but yeah, swim right here with the shark. They know sooner or later, because the shark is such a beast, It's such a carnivore, it will feast. And when it eats, they just clean up the scraps. They eat some of the blood and the nutrients in the blood. They eat the flesh and the meat and the tissue that's left behind. Therefore, they benefit. Again, the shark is not harmed by this, is not helped by this relationship either. However, the fish is helped. They benefit from this relationship. That's commensalism. I'm going to repeat that again. A type of symbiosis that helps one organism, but neither helps nor harms the other. And we got a few more vocabulary words that help you understand symbiosis. A parasite is an organism that benefits from symbiosis. A host is an organism that is harmed in symbiosis. This picture here shows parasitism. You got a human host and you have a botfly larva that's lodged, or of course, and we watched a video on this in my class, the botfly lays its eggs on a mosquito lands on a human. The larva, or the small, very, very, very small botfly larva, actually jump off the mosquito's back, jump inside the human host, burrows down, and it sits there and eats and feeds on blood, the nutrients in blood, until it gets big enough. And once it gets big, it starts to burrow out, and it wants to come out so it can pupate. All right, turn back into a fly. Well, it starts to itch and it starts to hurt, and the humans can actually hear this botfly larva eating its way out of itself. All right, oh my goodness, I got this something in my head. I can hear it eating, I can hear it gnawing, I can feel it moving. Oh man. All right, well, that's what's going on. So the parasite in this picture, of course, is the botfly larva, and the host is the human. Feel sorry for you, bro. But now, it's a good thing this is not really known in America. I know this is worldwide on YouTube, but I'm broadcasting from Little Rock, Arkansas. We don't really have to deal with botflies that much. But in Central America and South America, where they're prevalent, yeah, this is kind of normal. All right, kind of normal. Here we go. And that concludes our notes for today. Hope you learned a little bit about this very, very audacious and scary term, symbiosis. I'm out. This is Mr. Guest. Have a good one.